standings.
So we'll look at the starting lineup sponsored by Jeep. There's only one. Marquette has had this exact same starting lineup the whole season. There were some questions on how he used Sunday against Providence. What can we expect from him tonight?
Well, he played 31 minutes in that Providence game, which is a little bit surprising. And he had the noticeable rust. I believe he'll be a lot better here this evening.
Tip goes to Marquette. Roger Ayers, Matt Potter, and Earl Walton, your officials here tonight from 5, serve 4. Hand off to Iguodaro. And that little jump hook, not there. Boy, has he improved his game, though. He has stretched out his range, right, for shots like that. His repertoire has expanded immensely. And the pro scouts have taken notice.
Yeah, his skill set is really unique at playing a small ball 5.
Double team coming for more, so he's got to get rid of it. They immediately work it around to Brandon Slater for 3 in the first points here of the game.
Yeah, don't be surprised by that 10-11 overall record and 4-6 in the Big East. This Villanova team is getting a lot of confidence with Justin Moore back in the lineup.
Kolek finding Jones. Back to Kolek, now single digits here on the shot clock. Tyler Kolek thought about pulling the trigger. Someone's going to have to do it here shortly. 2 on the shot clock. Kolek pulls the trigger. Misses everything, and it's a shot clock violation. The first turnover for the Golden Eagles, who come in with a 17-5 overall record, 9-2 atop the Big East. Now coming into tonight, that was deadlocked with Xavier and Providence. You ask Coach Smart about that, about now being a target, right, in this conference. He says, hey, we got to lower our heads, keep working, one day, one practice, one game at a time.
Yeah, and the thing is, Lisa, they've had success, but there's nothing accomplished as of yet in this season. Still a month left in the regular season. A lot of work left to do.
Justin Moore misses his first 3-point attempt. He was 0 for 4 on Sunday in his debut against Providence. So still trying to hunt down that first 3-point make of the season. But an incredible comeback here for him as Prosper fires from distance. The rebound to Slater.
And Villanova will look for early offense, but if they don't get it, they'll grind you in the half-court set. Guards are very comfortable in the post.
Caleb Daniels, it's another 3. And so Villanova now all 6 points from distance here to begin with.
Boy, Kyle Neptune, head coach of Villanova, really animated on the sideline, giving his guys a lot of confidence.
And a little bump foul there by Brandon Slater. That's his first. You get Kyle Neptune, of course, in year number 1, and we know the story. Has to follow in the footsteps of Jay Wright, who has retired. He told us, though, today at shoot-around, look, I feel like in every game this year, we are in this game in the final 3 minutes.
Yeah, and if they have that type of mentality and put themselves in that position, you know, down the stretch, they could be a team that no one in this conference wants to see.
10 games for Villanova decided by 10 or fewer points. They have losing records in all of those situations. 0 to 5 points, 6 to 10 points. An offensive foul call.
Well, Villanova has been ready for this game. They have brought the intensity.
And a working violation. Also, they'll give it right back to Marquette.
Yeah, Justin Moore thinking that he could run the baseline and try to get away from the pressure. Forgot that he had to stand still.
Couple of turnovers you see there for Marquette and 1 for Villanova, but I'm with you in terms of the juice maybe that Villanova feels. Maybe new life here. The healthiest this roster has been all season long. Crossover move for the Pennsylvania native, Stevie Mitchell.
Stevie Mitchell, I think, has a lot more offensive game than he displays a lot of times. Lisa was only 1 of 5 against DePaul. And Marquette won that one easily, but he's got the opportunity to score the rock in those scenarios.
You know, I've got no rooting interest in this, but I was rooting for eventually for a Marquette field goal so these fans could sit down. You know, they all stand here at 5 serve 4, and they're kind of in our way here.
Yes.
There's a turnover, so we'll go back the other way to Marquette. So we were waiting for that, and Stevie Mitchell finally delivered.
Right there, good defense. Iguodaro, active hands here. Knocking it out of Dixon's hand off his leg. Results in another possession for Marquette.
Marquette, but pace will be key for them. They like to force turnovers. As you know, if you follow the Golden Eagles story, they count the number of deflections as well. And so our Edward Jones team goals, life is for the living. Let's partner for all of it. What do you got on your mind here?
Well, Villanova's 9-2 on the season when they hold opponents under 70 points. And, of course, Marquette, they want to get up into the high 70s, 80s to be most effective.
Cam Jones with his first attempt. A 6-2 advantage. A couple of three-pointers. The difference here so far for Villanova. And a double-triple call there on the baseline. Roger Ayers making the call. Not necessarily Marquette kind of forcing in the full court, but in the half court, Villanova's had some trouble.
Yeah, there's a lot of juice in the building right now. You could tell this is February in Big East basketball. Marquette coming in with a ton of respect for this Villanova program. Villanova starting the game off with high energy, and I think some of that has resulted in them being a little too keyed up early on.
Last three possessions, 3 turnovers here for Nova. An opportunity here for the Golden Eagles. Prosper pump fake, it's a good one, and a block that time. Oh, there's going to be a foul. Cam Whitmore thought he had it clean. It'll be his first personal.
Well, you saw the athleticism of Whitmore right there. Omax Prosper with a beautiful pump fake, gets to the hole, and Whitmore meets him with some physicality.
We want to welcome in the audience that was just watching Xavier and Providence. Xavier winning that one, and we have Marquette, who coming into tonight deadlocked in the Big East standings with Xavier and Providence. You know, there's got to be some people on the bench who are keeping an eye on that one that went into overtime. So Villanova, Marquette, Villanova looking for some quad one wins coming into the month of February alongside Stephen Bardo. I'm Lisa. There's got to be some people on the bench who are keeping an eye on that one that went into overtime. So Villanova, Marquette, Villanova looking for some quad one wins coming into the month of February alongside Stephen Bardo. I'm Lisa Beinson from Five Serve Forum in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This is the second of 3 men's games that we'll show you tonight on FS1.
Well, I like this young guard Armstrong for Villanova. Oh!
How about that? Did you like that from the freshman Cam Whitmore?
Ooh, we got posters for sale at halftime. Cam Whitmore going upstairs along the baseline.
Public alley-oop, and how about a dunk for a dunk as Iguodaro provides the highlight.
And this could be some high-level action here tonight. I like that 2-player action there with Kolek and Iguodaro. They do it as well as anybody in the Big East.
2 freshmen in the backcourt here for Villanova with Armstrong and Whitmore. Whitmore off the hands there. It's a kind of a lethal pass, and it's another turnover here for the Wildcats, who have struggled taking care of the basketball here to begin with. We want to thank everyone who is watching us on FS2. Ket, it was a 2-point win for Shaka Smart and the Golden Eagles back on December 31st. Pennsylvania native Stevie Mitchell was big in that one. He had a career-high 19 points. Nova had a chance to tie it at the end with an Eric Dixon shot. Just went off the rim. 3-pointers have been big for Villanova. First couple shots have been threes, and Marquette out of that timeout turns it over.
Joplin trying to make that pass, but a little soft there, Lisa. Got to be very physical against Villanova when you're trying to handle the basketball, especially in the half-court set.
Nova working with some subs now. Marquette as well. Work towards the bench, and a smooth shooting stroke for Caleb Daniels, who's the leading scorer on this team. 4th in the Big East with his 16 points per game.
He liked that matchup against Joplin. Saw his teammates clear out, give him that side, let him go.
Cam Jones works it around to Kolek. David Chaplin had that big game against DePaul in the last game out. So look for Chase Ross, who throws it up but draws the contact. And that's going to be number 2 on Cam Whitmore. That's big.
That is big. And Villanova has done a really good job of rotating defensively. Whitmore got a little high on the rotation. You see right there the bump on Chase Ross.
And Whitmore, one of the talented pro prospects on this Villanova team, and in the Big East Conference. He walks over to kind of plead his case a little bit, as I do.
A little bit of frustration for Whitmore having to come out of the game so early.
Yeah, but that's significant. You know, 14:40 left to play. Question of how long does Kyle Neptune, who's in season number 1 at Villanova, but season number 2 as a head coach, you kind of have to feel your way through that, right?
Yeah.
As a head coach, your comfort level, and then just understanding your player as well.
No doubt about it. I think right now you probably won't see Whitmore for a while, as long as this game is close. If Marquette starts to make a run, you may see him come off the bench. But general rule for coaches, with freshmen getting 2 fouls in the first half, you pretty much sit the rest of the half.
Armstrong kicks it out. Justin Moore. Now, if you're just joining us, he's playing in game number 2 of the season. He had sit out 10 months with an Achilles injury. He fades away. That one deflected and blocked by Iguodaro.
And that's a tough ask of Moore to try to score over Iguodaro in that scenario.
Yeah, he stands at 6'9", but his wingspan is awfully impressive as well. One of the better shot blockers in the league. 4th in the Big East. Ross kicks it out, and here's Joplin. Now he's been hot, and apparently he traveled his three-point shooting from Wintrust Arena in Chicago back to 5-serve 4.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. That was a great look by Ross. I didn't know if he was going to be able to locate him. Little one-hand whip pass cross court right to the shooting pocket.
Here's Slater looking to create. Someone's going to have to step up some offensive duties, and how about Brendan Husson, the freshman out of Texas, knocking down the corner shot.
Another staple of Villanova basketball, supreme floor spacing.
Slater with the rebound. We're told today, too, Husson is the preferred pronunciation for Brendan Husson. He's a freshman. Sometimes they don't always speak up, right, on what's preferred and what's not. But we were told today at shoot-around that that's how he says his own name.
Yeah, and hopefully that'll be the only name change, because sometimes we've seen that 2 or 3 times in a player's career.
Usually it's mom who speaks up, right?
That's right.
Iguodaro works it out. Over to Chase Ross, who brings it back to the right side. Marquette showing some patience here in the half court offensively. Back over to Joplin.
Joplin likes his matchup.
Yeah, he's working off that career high 28 points against DePaul. He had those 8 3-point makes against DePaul in Chicago on Saturday.
Oh, great defense, Iguodaro. Closing out on the attempted 3.
Armstrong looking for something. A pass deflected. They'll chart that, as you know Marquette does, for the Joplin deflection. And there'll be 7 seconds left on the shot clock.
So in this particular scenario, I would look for Caleb Daniels at the shortened shot clock. Maybe get him, make something happen.
Here is Daniels, who takes a peek, feeds the post instead. The turnaround not there for Eric Dixon.
That was a beautiful defensive adjustment by Marquette. They went zone and kind of surprised Villanova into a tough shot.
We talked about Shaka Smart, about his zone versus man at shoot-around here today. He says he feels like the zone might be more effective, kind of in a surprise attack, if you will, which they found on that possession. There's a three-pointer that falls for Chase Ross with a little kiss to the sky afterwards.
Yeah, you see Ben Gold at 6'11", putting it on the deck, making the drag pass along the baseline for the open look. That's an unusual play for a 6'11" player.
The 3 ties it at 13. Second meeting between these 2 teams. I mentioned Marquette won December 31st. Over to Armstrong, the kick out. Good ball movement. Justin Moore again to Armstrong. What's the freshman got? A three-pointer, and that's what is in his arsenal. Mark Armstrong for 3.
Boy, Marquette did a great job of rotating to that last second. And Armstrong stepped over with a lot of confidence on that look.
Might get some more minutes, too, with Cam Whitmore in foul trouble with a couple of fouls. It's Dixon picking up his first.
Well,
We'll take a timeout.
Marquette only down 3 because of plays like this. Ben Gold with the wraparound, and Ross the recipient of a sweet look from the corner pocket.
They either returning to the conference, have played in the conference, they know this conference, and Kyle Neptune, knows the history. He's coached at Villanova as an assistant, and the healthiest that this roster has been here so far. Out of that timeout, Cam Jones gets his first points. He was 0 for 1 before that shot.
But Marquette does a really good job of getting quality looks, out of bounds plays. That time getting their best three-point shooter an open look.
Moore trying to hunt down his first points, draws the foul on Ben Gold, his first. And Justin Moore had struggled. He was 0 for 3 from the field, so why not try to pick up some points from the free throw line?
Well, Villanova does an excellent job of that, getting 2 feet in the paint. That time was a nice step through and drew the contact from Gold. Justin Moore, when you're struggling from the outside, you want to get a clean look on the interior.
And that's the thing, if you follow Villanova basketball this year, you see the same Villanova Jay Wright principles. The difference is, as we've talked about, this man has not had a healthy roster to work with. Cam Whitmore was out for the first 7 weeks of the season. That guy at the free throw line just in game number 2 after missing 10 months with an Achilles tear.
I think Justin Moore still might be battling emotionally with some confidence as well, just getting back on the floor, but that memory will come back quickly.
Yeah, there's no substitute for game experience, game conditioning. Anybody who plays basketball knows that. Here's Moore with 16 here to shoot. Inside 10 minutes now. Moore pulls the trigger and fires, and there's his first three-pointer of the season.
Boy, he looked good on that. Got the matchup he wanted against Ben Gold, created the space and elevated with confidence.
He was 0 for 4 in the last game, as I mentioned, Sunday against Providence. He was 0 for 2 from 3 before that shot. So 0 for 6 from 3 to begin the season. We'll see if that one gets him going a little bit from distance. Prosper with the kick out. Chase Ross has led this team in scoring. He takes it hard to the rack. And an offensive foul call on Chase Ross. It looked good at the start, but Roger Ayers didn't like maybe the finish. And Hawson doing a good job getting his body in there.
Oh, I don't know about that one. I thought Ross jumped to the side. Yeah, that's a tough break for Ross right there. That may have been an and one in his favor.
Well, Roger Ayers making the call here from the kind of the left side of the court. So a tough break. You're saying for Marquette on that play.
Yeah, and those are that's the most difficult call in college in basketball, period.
Block charge. Yes. That's why they talk about it all the time on that Twitter thing, on social media.
Yes. I'm not being critical of the officials at one bit. We have the advantage of instant replay.
Now 6 to shoot. Hawson off the dribble. In trouble. He's got to put it up. Tough shot. Shot clock violation. Good defensive stop for Marquette.
Yeah, Max Prosper really made it difficult for Brendan to get that shot off and get a clean look.
5 turnovers now for Villanova. Well, Kyle Neptune said in that first meeting, December 31st, they lost to Marquette by 2, but he said, Marquette, I mean, in the last game, Providence and Marquette had played a little bit tougher than us at points. So he'd like to see that, not only in that December 31st meeting, but in the last game when they played against Marquette. The toughness, maybe taking a bump against a tough defense.
Marquette cannot get inside of his defensive possession.
No, so they got to settle for a long three-point attempt by Cam Jones.
Villanova giving some looks themselves a little different from what Marquette was used to. Wow.
There's an offensive foul call on Caleb Daniels. His first.
Yeah, Caleb Daniels didn't even argue that one. He knew he got that chicken wing out there a little bit far. Watch that left arm right there. Cam Jones does a good job selling it as well. Like Cam may have lost his balance. Oh, that's what it was. Stepped on Stevie Mitchell's foot.
It's the 6th team foul, too, for Villanova. Here with 8 and some change left to play here in the first half. Wildcats with a 4-point edge. Over to Stevie Mitchell. 4-3. Knocks it down. He had that career high 19 against Nova in that December 31st meeting.
That's called around the world right there, ladies and gentlemen. That's as good a ball movement as you're going to see all night.
Really good three-point shooting for both of these teams. 5 of 7 here for Nova, 4 of 8 for Marquette. How about another one? At that time for Brandon Slater. Stevie Mitchell. It was the same exact spot, but he didn't get the same exact results. They're going to call a foul on Brandon Slater. You know, they had an eye on that Xavier-Providence game. Xavier winning by 2 against Providence, 85-83 in the first game that you watched here on FS1. And so Marquette looking right now to keep pace with Xavier in the Big East standings. What a race all of a sudden this has become in the final full month of the regular season.
You know what, Lisa, I couldn't see what Roger Ayers said to Stevie Mitchell, but I have a sneaky suspicion he was telling him to be smart. Because if he says something to the Villanova bench like that again, probably going to get teched up. And Stevie Mitchell definitely understood what he was saying.
Time at 20. Moore with the bounce pass underneath, and Dixon with a tough angle gets it to go.
That's beautiful execution against pressure. If a team is going to pressure you three-quarter court, and you can advance via the pass, you go for layups.
Cam Jones got knocked after that shot attempt. He hit the top of the backboard, so it'll be Villanova basketball. This is what you're talking about after Stevie Mitchell hit this 3.
So somebody said something to him, and then you see Kyle Neptune's like, wait a minute, he can't talk to the bench. But I have something that I'd like to say. If the bench talks to a player on the floor, they need to get reprimanded as well. Whether that's a technical or whether the officials need to go talk to them.
There's a takeaway from Marquette. Tyler Kolek, one of the better passers not only in the Big East but in the country. Leads the Big East in assists per game. Iguodaro gets it tapped away, but there was a foul committed, and Marquette will have some free throws coming. It's the second now on Dixon, so you've got 2 on Cam Whitmore, who's been sitting out since 14:40 left to play in this first half. Eric Dixon has 2. Brandon Slater has 2 on the Villanova side.
Yeah, that time the Villanova bench did not like that call on Eric Dixon, but when you're 35 feet away from the bucket and your opponent's back is turned to the bucket and you reach, that's a low percentage play.
And Iguodaro can't make Villanova pay for it either. So now they've got 3 starters with 2 fouls on the bench. See how long that lasts with 6.5 left to play here in the first half. Trey Patterson is one of the subs getting his first minutes here for Nova. That double team coming for Moore, so he's got to give it up. Work it around to Caleb Daniels. Too strong on the three-point attempt.
Well, both of these teams do a fantastic job of getting the ball out of a double team scenario and getting it to the opposite side. Like that.
Kolek immediately feeds Prosper, who can't make good on it. Great ball movement that time for Marquette.
Yes, floor space and the ball movement are elite on both of these ball clubs.
Archie Diacono behind the back. It's turned away and it finds Armstrong. Now with 11 to shoot. Armstrong keeps his dribble. Now has the bigger Iguodaro on him. Trying to drop off the pass. It's another turnover here for Nova.
Well, Marquette has been in the lanes where there is no opening for Villanova on that possession.
Make it 8 turnovers here in the first half for the Wildcats. Prosper with the pump fake. Max Prosper over to Kolek. That lefty, he didn't even switch hands. He was on the right side. Finished with the left hand and off the glass to tie it.
And Lisa, in your illustrious hoop career, you know how difficult that is.
For me, it would be left side, right hand.
That's right. That's
For
right.
most people,
that's right.
Quite frankly. Part of a 6-2 score Villanova basketball. The shot clock resets to 20.
I like that shot by Justin Moore. It didn't drop for him. Top of the key is the easiest three-point shot to take. He had plenty of space. He made a nice move to drive off his defender. That rust will get knocked off quickly, but he's looking a lot better tonight than he did in the first game against Providence.
And Stephen, you've mentioned it. It's that mental piece, that mental hurdle he's going to have to get past. Decided last week that he'd be good to go to play. Started really practicing around Christmas time. Again, 309 days since he tore his Achilles in the Elite Eight win. Last year's NCAA tournament. How smooth is that? That's a long two for the freshman, Mark Armstrong.
South Orange, New Jersey in the house. I love that move.
Cam Jones, we love that move too. Lays it up with the left hand. These youngsters have come to play tonight.
Well, this is a great venue for NBA and college basketball. Fiserv Forum. The energy of these Milwaukee and Marquette fans, knowledgeable basketball fans.
They've been averaging about 10,000 strongs during some of these midweek games. And you're right, it provides a really good atmosphere here in Milwaukee. Joplin has the 1 3-pointer. Cam Jones directing traffic.
Cam Jones wanted Joplin to go one-on-one.
Iguodala leaves it short. So Iguodala just with the 3 points.
So look at that switching defense. Iguodala drops back on Patterson. And they are really,
Joplin on the foul on the 3-point attempt. So Hassan will have 3 free throws coming. It's David Joplin's first. Nice and tight in the second meeting. The regular season, Providence was going to come back at some point, and then winning it in overtime. Big East basketball is something to watch, and it's getting even more exciting as we turn the page to the month of February.
Big East basketball in February is as good as you're going to get in the game anywhere around the country. And this Villanova team is going to have something to say down the stretch as they are becoming more healthy every day.
Hassan has 3 free throws, remember. He was fouled on the 3-point shot going into that timeout. And a 78% shooter, but he only was 7 of 9 coming into tonight, so a very small sample size here for him. Joplin, the cross-court pass over to Kolek. Doesn't waste any time, fires and hits for 3.
Oh, man, this is, the ball movement, the floor space, I can't say it enough. I know I'm starting to sound like a broken record, but that's why Marquette is #1, Ken Palm, offensive efficiency in the nation.
Tyler Kolek, the reigning Big East player of the week, the first career coming off a near triple-double that he had against DePaul. Moore works it around Hassan. Getting good ball movement here for Villanova. Hassan for 3 this time. He's got the answer.
Well, Villanova utilized the bounce pass along the sideline as well as any team in the Big East.
Hassan has put up a big first half. 9 points here so far. His career high is 15 that he got against Oregon earlier this season. And Kolek, they're going to call the blocking foul that time. I think he was in the restricted area as Kolek took the penetration all the way in.
Well, you'd think that Kolek would throw the ball up at least at the bucket, being that, he's point blank. And I know he probably was concerned about his safety there when you get bumped like that. But throw it up. Try to get it up on the rim as best you can.
It's going up. It's going up.
The quote that I read that Tyler Kolek said of some of the people who are giving Shaka Smart and Marquette all of a sudden all this attention now sitting atop the Big East. And he said, look, we were picked 9th, right, in the preseason. If we didn't care what those people thought of us in the preseason, why do we care what those people think of us now?
That's a great point. And, the teams that have this type of chemistry, the chemistry is such a futile thing on these teams, and it's very difficult to maintain through a grinding season. But Marquette has some of the best chemistry, thus them being one of the best teams in the Big East.
That double team coming forces another turnover. Kolek has it, and on the push over to Joplin, back to Kolek.
off of a couple of passes along the perimeter.
More over to Daniels. Daniels looking to go off the bounce. Gets caught in the corner, and he stepped on the baseline for yet another turnover. Villanova struggling. Now they got 10 turnovers in the half.
Daniels goes baseline. There's a delayed double team, and I think it caught him off guard. Well, that's opportunistic defense by Marquette.
And Villanova trying to get things done, maybe a little bit out of rhythm, because those guys, 3 starters, Whitmore, Slater, Dixon, all sitting on the bench right now with 2 personals.
And Cam Whitmore went out really early in the half with those 2 fouls. And just like I thought, I was going to be surprised if Kyle Neptune brought him back.
It's a good call, point guard.
That go one right every now and then.
Minute and a half left to go. Single digits now on the shot clock. Joplin gives it up to Kolek. Aggressive defensively there from Mark Armstrong. Air ball and into Armstrong's hands. Trey Patterson picking up some first half minutes with the foul trouble that we showed you. There's Arcidiacono, the same thing. Moore surveying, taking it inside against the bigger Iguodaro, and yet another turnover. Make it 11 now for the Wildcats.
Well, Justin Moore, I think that's still rust, Lisa. You know what I mean? The only second game back, I think that's just a little rust. He's trying to make a play, gets a little bump, loses his balance. But all things considered, I think Villanova's done an excellent job here in the first half. They fought foul trouble. They've had some guys come off the bench. You talk about Hawson. Brendan Hawson has had a spectacular first half.
Here's the deal, though, Stephen. I mean, Villanova has been out of rhythm, 11 turnovers, and yet they still lead the game by 2 points.
Yes.
Marquette, by the way, has never led. An opportunity here with a 3-point shot. Iguodaro in 2-point territory. He walked with it. I don't know if 5-star form's got the slippery floor or not, but we've seen a lot of traveling violations here in this first half.
Well, with also Iguodaro right there, Lisa, there's no shot blocker on the floor for Villanova. He's the tallest player on the floor right now, so go up without hesitation and finish.
Stands at 6'9". Here comes Moore, left side, trying to force the issue, and there'll be a blocking foul called on Marquette. On Prosper, his first.
That's putting your head down and getting to the bucket. Moore is not going to be denied. Draws the contact. And that's Big East basketball.
5 team fouls here for Marquette, but it was a shooting foul, so Moore takes another trip to the free throw line. 2 of 3 there tonight. Justin Moore, his season debut coming against Providence on Sunday. 5 points, 4 rebounds. Played 31 minutes. Missed the first 20 games after April surgery that he had. It's a remarkable and speedy recovery that he made in 10 months.
I know the kind of work he had to put in to get back to this point. Got to be inspirational to his teammates.
Stevie Mitchell likes those corner threes.
Yes, he does. And both teams are scouting the other extremely well, because it's really been good defense on both sides, but both teams are getting high quality looks.
And it's a timeout here for Villanova. They'll have 3 remaining and left in the game. But Mitchell has a couple of 3-point makes, both of them door sports rule, right?
That's right.
In the Midwest and the East Coast. Villanova will actually stay on the road. They play at Creighton coming up next. Spend the night here in Milwaukee and then head over to Omaha after this one. Final few seconds here of the first half. A 1-point Nova advantage. Here comes Justin Moore, who bowls and gives them a 4-point Nova advantage. That's starting to look like the Justin Moore that we know. Pounding Cam Jones.
We got some rain clouds inside 5-star form. He brought the rain on that one.
Back-to-back threes to close this half out.
Justin Moore doing a fantastic job. They got surprised by the double team. And then
hoping that January to February and maybe March will be kind of a similar turnaround positively with that man back and playing in this roster.
Well, the fabric of this program is still intact. Whether the head coaches change or not, they still play the same way. They still have that same championship fabric.
Second half underway. Same starters to begin the second half for both of these teams. Slater is one of the ones who's had to sit on the bench for most of the first half. Only played 9.5 minutes. He's one of the starters that picked up 2 fouls. Slater and Whitmore and Dixon had to sit a heavy dose of that first half, and remarkable that Villanova survived that with a 1-point edge. Wild shot that time by Stevie Mitchell, who hands go to his head. Thought he got challenged and hit a little bit, and the foul called on the penetration by Caleb Daniels. That'll be on Iguodaro, his first.
Caleb Daniels just didn't rush this at all. Got Iguodaro off balance. Draws the contact, but now he can get to the free throw line. But really savvy move and getting Oso Iguodaro off balance.
Caleb Daniels drills it. He's, as we know, a transfer from Tulane. His first 2 years he played there. He's now in year number 3 playing at Nova. 943 points at Nova coming into tonight. He's already surpassed 1,000 for his career, but he could get maybe to 1,000 in his Nova career as well.
At the rate he's going, I surely would expect that at 16 points a game. 4th in the Big East.
Jones from the wing. He just needs to back up a little bit by half court to make that one.
That's a good point. That's a good challenge by Eric Dixon.
Good catch there for Eric Dixon. That double team coming there on the post. Feeds Whitmore quickly, moves it around to Caleb Daniels, in and out.
Well, Marquette was fortunate on that. Daniels had a clean look. That ball halfway down.
Kolek decided to try to go like 1-on-3 with that dribble take. And it's the 3rd personal on Cam Whitmore. So what do you do here? A guy who's so talented, played 5 minutes and 20 seconds in the first half. He's going to get subbed out by Mark Armstrong. But now how long do you leave a Cam Whitmore on the bench?
I don't think you leave him long at all. You may bring him back after the first TV timeout, maybe under 16, because he's going to be integral to what Villanova's doing down the stretch.
Over to Kolek, into the lane, challenged nicely, again by Eric Dixon defensively. Daniels into the paint, floats it in for 2.
That's beautiful. The body control, playing on 2 feet in the paint, the elevation. Villanova starting the second half like they did the first.
Well, a 5-point edge here for Villanova. The first half foul trouble. Now we know that Cam Whitmore has just picked up his 3rd personal, so now it would be like 7 fouls on that graphic. But this is at halftime. 22 minutes, 48 seconds combined time for those 3 starters, by the way, and almost as many fouls as points, and still Villanova had the lead.
That's how well Villanova's played here this game, on the road.
Good job, guys.
And they felt like they didn't maybe get. They're not getting the whistle that they would prefer, but it hasn't stopped them from being efficient on the offensive end. 57%, 58% from the field in the first half for Villanova.
Got to give a high five to our statistician, BJ Cronus.
Oh, BJ's all over.
Crunching those numbers. Carried the 1, used all his fingers and toes to add up all those minutes.
I recall BJ's got quite a knowledge of hip-hop music as well.
Ooh, that's his genre. Right, BJ? He's not in his head. 39-35. Played just 2 minutes here in the second half. Moore doesn't waste any time.
Cal Neptune is applauding that attempt, knowing that Moore is becoming more comfortable.
Yeah, and confident, right?
Yes.
Comfortable and confident. How about comfortable and confident for one Tyler Kolek who drills it through?
Tyler Kolek splits on the road versus at home offensively. He seems way more aggressive offensively on the road than here in 5-0 form.
He's got 9 points here in this game. 9 points to lead Marquette now in this game. And again, cuts the lead to 1. Marquette just can't get it over the hump right now because Daniels and Villanova seems to have every answer.
Well, we saw this shoot around. Kyle Neptune had his team prepared to catch and shoot when the help side defense slacks off.
Off the hands of Iguodaro, and a turnover there for Marquette. Tyler Kolek, that's a tough pass to try to make, but we go back to the Marquette three, and Kolek, not just a passer, can shoot it a little bit too.
Yes, he can. At that time, Slater trying to defend for the penetration, just doesn't close out quickly enough.
Cam Jones with a little bit of pressure now against the freshman Mark Armstrong.
And look how tight Villanova's running that half-court offense.
Armstrong again. He's looking to feed the corner. It's a turnover there. And he thought Trey Patterson was a little bit deeper in the corner than what he was.
I thought Armstrong should look to score in that situation. He had a pretty good first half, 2 or 3 from the field, 5 points. So I thought he was going to make something happen inside the paint.
12 turnovers for the game. Hawson picks up the quick personal, trying to defend Kolek. Kolek, as I mentioned, the reigning Big East Player of the Week, the first of his career. 24 points, 9 rebounds, 10 assists. So just a rebound off of a triple-double. This Marquette program hasn't seen a triple-double since the Dwayne Wade years. Kolek gives it up to Iguodaro. He likes that little push shot.
He does, and he hesitated in the first half and had a couple turnovers in that scenario. That time, no hesitation at all. Shaka Smart getting the crowd into it, down in the defensive stance.
Daniel is so strong. We got a foul call. We got 2 officials making a foul call. But they'll give it against Stevie Mitchell, his first. Communication on the official side.
You saw Matt Potter come from the weak side to make that call. I think that was the right call. There's a ton of contact there as Daniels getting in position.
Earl Walton was on the baseline. They blew their whistle. I think there might have been conflicting maybe opinions, but they kind of, eyeballed it, communicated it, and worked their way through it.
Oh, great action by Villanova. They worked on that in shoot-around, Lisa. They called it the dirt action. And they dirked twice that time to get Dixon a layup.
Jones over to Iguodaro. That time it's the lefty hook. Good soft touch, though, but he couldn't get it to drop. It's a 4-point edge here for Nova. Slater comes across. That crossover move against Joplin. No call. They're going to let him play a little bit. Here comes Kolek. Hand off to Cam Jones. Quick trigger.
Boy, Armstrong slipped and lost his footing, but was able to recover and bother Jones on that release. Those second efforts lead to victories on the road.
Tough pass for Dixon to try to handle. Here comes Ross. Over to Cam Jones. Side step, 1 dribble pull-up. He's looking for it. Shots just aren't falling for him tonight. 2 of 8 from 3.
And Villanova not allowing him to catch and shoot. That's when he's most effective. Make him put it on the deck. Looking for Caleb Daniels in this possession here.
He's looking over to the bottom of your screen, and a post touch for Eric Dixon, and a 3-second call. Yet another turnover for Kyle Neptune and the Villanova Wildcats.
Excellent execution out of the out-of-bounds play. Eric Dixon, recipient of us to seem to come off here tonight's game.
Well, we asked Kyle Neptune about that at shoot-around. Is there any postseason talk? What you got to do with your resume? He's, it's pointless for us to go into that discussion. He's like, we really have to focus on this walkthrough, on this shoot-around, on this practice, on this game to try to get through the month of February.
I love that approach because that keeps guys in the present moment. It's so easy to look ahead and try to figure things out, but if you don't take care of your business right now, it's not going to matter.
Joplin with the kick out. They move it around. Quick passes here for this Marquette offense, but 4 to shoot here on the shot clock. Someone's got to pull the trigger. It'll be Prosper falling down and just off the heel.
For a great defense by Villanova. They recovered. There was an attack in the paint area. Help side defense came, forced the kick.
Marquette, of course, trying to stay atop the Big East standings and trying to keep pace with Xavier, who knocked off Providence by 2 in overtime tonight. Sidestep 3 look for Mark Armstrong. And the rebound down to Kolek.
Well, there's one player from Marquette that has really been silenced on the offensive end. That's Prosper.
And Kolek gets fouled on the shot attempt.
That's Prosper right now, 0-3 from the field, only 1 point. Kolek doing a good job going downhill, trying to get to a strong hand. Dixon trying to go for the block.
And that's Dixon's 3rd. And the 4th team foul. Kolek is one of the ones who averages in double figures for a Marquette offense. Let's not forget that averages just a little bit under 83 points per game. They've got 5 who average in double figures, 7 to 8 different guys who have led this team in scoring this year. And they're sitting on 41 points here so far.
I said today, if you look at the Marquette team and walking through the airport, they're not going to scare you at all. They're not one of the bigger size teams in the Big East, but boy, do they play together. They share the rock, and they've got some individuals that are extremely talented on the offensive side of the ball.
Well, 8 of 22 from three-point territory here tonight, 36%. Turn over the offense a little bit to kind of meet those season averages here from Marquette. 3 attempt there from Moore is not there, and another rebound for Kolek.
Moore let Iguodaro off the hook that time. He got the ball back, so he had his dribble, but settled for a jump.
Kolek's had a hot hand, and he's going to bring them all the way back. 14 points, and Marquette's first lead of the night comes right here.
Now you're going to see you may see some changing defense here by Marquette.
Deflection and another turnover on the push. Here comes Chase Ross.
Looking for a pass cross court. Thought he had a seam right there.
They give it up to the open look, and Joplin makes good on it. Marquette all of a sudden on a roll. An 8-0 push. Villanova forced to call the timeout. They'll have 2 for Nova in 3 minutes and 46 seconds going into this possession.
Yeah, you got to bring Cam Whitmore back in. Let him get loose. Let him get back into the flow. But he's just got to be so careful defensively that you might see Marquette try to isolate him on the offensive end. Oh, 3-2 zone, first time for Marquette.
They will switch it up, right?
Yep.
Shaka Smart will always keep that in his pocket, and the foul is good for Dixon.
And that's what Shaka Smart was concerned with. If Marquette went zone, can they clean the defensive glass? That time they didn't.
Every coach is worried when you play zone defense. Iguodaro, good catch and finish.
Very unique setup that time by Marquette. They had a high ball screen, but they had 2 post players in the key area. Villanova didn't respond well.
Look at the Golden Eagles scoring run in the last 2 minutes and counting. Whitmore. Tough game he's played. He's barely played, but saddled with foul trouble. Just 2 points here tonight. And the talented freshman who's only played 8 minutes because of foul trouble. Iguodaro on the post and the touch and trying to go to work against Moore. Cross-court pass to Prosper. Going baseline and draws the foul on Slater. So Slater now has 3 personal fouls.
Also, Iguodaro coming off of this unique set here. Getting the speed, easy.
That he had the good catch and finish, but take a look at him kind of going up the court. He got knocked a little bit on that finish.
Yeah, and that's Big East basketball. You know, this is physical basketball, and you know, you get hit in your nose, it really affects your vision. Everybody's had that before, so hopefully he'll be able to shake that off quickly and return.
Joplin trying to go back door to Prosper. It's broken up by Nova. Also keep in mind that going into that timeout, Brandon Slater picked up his third personal. So Dixon, Slater, and Whitmore, we're keeping an eye on that. They're playing with three personal fouls.
Great position here by Dixon.
Dixon with the kick out to Whitmore. His first three-point make of the night.
Really good paces by Dixon. I thought he was going to try to force the issue. Saw Whitmore in the corner all by himself. Nice basketball.
He's got 5 points. Just about 8 minutes of play. Falling down off balance there for Kolek. That was a tough shot for him to make. Villanova with a chance to try to take the lead.
I think Kolek was trying to draw the contact instead of trying to finish. Just found himself off balance there.
Big difference there. And a reach-in foul that time on David Joplin, his second.
Watch Caleb Daniels dive for this ball and come up with that deflection. And Whitmore, opportunistic three in the corner.
Remember, he had his first career start in the first meeting against Marquette, December 31st. He started every game since. Dixon, that's just all pure muscle.
Yeah, that's a great job of him taking advantage of his strength advantage over Omax Prosper. Prosper's a long, lengthy wing, but girth-wise, he's no match for Dixon in the post.
Gave the Wildcats owing him multiple defenders.
I've been impressed by Villanova. I mean, they battle foul trouble, they battle higher turnovers, and they are accustomed to giving the opponent, and yet they find themselves with a 1-point lead here in a highly competitive game.
Guidarro now got patched up in both of his nostrils here, it looks like, as he re-enters the game. And it doesn't matter because he gets that hook shot to fall.
No, he probably should have put those in at the beginning of the game because that was the smoothest shot he's had.
Whitmore with the kick out to Slater. It's taken away. Here comes Joplin on the push. Got to take it himself. He got a blocking foul. Justin Moore, his second.
Joplin's not going to beat anybody in the foot race, so he was understanding. He got the turnover here and get down, and you see him start to brace himself because he knows he's going to get some contact.
16 fouls now for Villanova. Head down the stretch here of this second half. David Joplin coming off that career-high 28 points in the last game against DePaul since the first free throw.
Hey, look, Joplin's got a pretty nice bar, but boy, that's a tight line right there across the front. I love the design.
Local products, as we know, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Brookfield Central High School. Shaka in his post-game on Sunday after the DePaul career-high game that he had to LaValle Jordan. He said that's what we recruited him to do. Knock down those three-point shots.
Villanova is able to withstand that surprise double team on the basketball, retain possession.
So Joplin will take a seat as Stevie Mitchell checks back in. Maybe they recruited him for the tight lines too, you know?
Or maybe that he just shared his bar.
Dixon with the pump fake, and he finishes off with the left hand.
Yeah, let's see. Dixon's understanding, as is Villanova, that there's not a combination right now that can stop him one-on-one on the post.
Jones, what a take. Cam Jones going baseline and finishing the tough angle. He's got 10 points.
Jones is so smooth, and you've got to crowd his three-point shooting in the building. That gives him an advantage in the dribble penetration.
So 3 in double figures now for Marquette. Iguodaro with 10, Kolek with 14, and Jones now with 10. Inside 8.5 left to play in this game. There's a Dixon three-pointer. He heard you say that he's been struggling. He says, you know what, Stephen Barlow?
I can knock down
the three.
That's right. And you know what happens when you get a couple layups to go down, that basket gets wider the further you move away. Dixon now the go-to option for Villanova.
Iguodaro, Prosper somehow controlling that pass. Kolek, one dribble, walks right into it. Prosper battling for it, but it goes into the hands of Brandon Slater.
We talked about the keys for both of these teams, and the tempo is favoring Villanova right now.
Hawson knocks down the three-point shot. 59-55. Hawson off the bench has 12 points, approaching that career high, which is 15. Back out for Kolek. He is a strong point guard. Has a few post moves, but that fadeaway won't fall.
You can't get a better look than that for Marquette. No shot, the Smart's got to be pleased with that. Like Kolek being aggressive in that situation.
Daniels feeding the post, and they got Iguodaro on the push. That is number 2 on Iguodaro.
Well, this Villanova team is showing some moxie here tonight. Despite foul trouble, the ball movement splash from the corner. Villanova feeling good.
Providence has dropped now to 9-3, and keep an eye on that Creighton team.
Yes.
Healthy again,
yes.
Surging again, playing like the one of the top preseason picks once again.
They got to number 7 in the country before Brenner goes out with the illness, and they have some injuries. Now they seem to have found their way once again.
That's what's at stake for both of these teams. Villanova with a chance to pick up its first quad 1 win possibly here tonight. Turnover. Maybe this Marquette team responding to Shaka Smart's challenge. Here comes Cam Jones, flips it up high off the glass, and it looks like a blocking foul.
Definitely Jones taking heed to the advice from his head coach, getting downhill. It's a good call there. Hawson was inside the restricted area. He's in good position, but just couldn't get those puppies outside the area.
Just as a note, a delay of game on Marquette had been called right before this free throw as Cam Jones sinks it.
Returning to the Wildcats, 23-year-old Dixon.
Cam Jones has been so crucial to the team's success this year.
He never seems to be hurried. He always seems to just move so fluidly and smoothly. I always think those left-handers have an advantage. They just look better.
I'm a righty. Both my parents are lefties. I used to joke they used to like shoot and do everything with the wrong hand. 2-point edge. Here comes the crowd at 5-serve.
Boy, Kolek heating the rock up here.
And a foul on Stevie Mitchell. That was a quick foul call, his second. Marquette now with 5 team fouls. Nova already with 7.
Dr. Smart wanting an explanation on the foul, but you're seeing Marquette turn up the intensity. On-ball pressure here.
2 timeouts left for both of these teams. Throw it into the backcourt to Brandon Slater. Gets the high screen from Dixon. Prosper with those long arms defending. Slater looking to create. Gets Iguodaro up in the air, and Iguodaro got a piece of that. We got a whistle, though. And let's see what Roger Ayers saw. It's going to both head coaches. We got Slater waiting at the free throw line. We're still kind of waiting on the official call here from Roger Ayers, who went to the scorer's table.
I think the initial call was hit on the shot. Yep.
And so that's the third on Iguodaro.
Well, Roger Ayers, one of the best officials in the game, goes.
I love that. So he went over to Iguodaro, went over to us, a great communicator, right, of the game?
Yes. Roger Ayers goes over to Oso, explains what the foul was, turns to us, and explains, shows us exactly what happened.
I'm curious why there was the delay, why he came over to the scorer's table. As Slater knocks down the second.
Your guess is as good as mine.
I don't have a good guess, so we're out of luck. 61-57. Kolek, left side. Oh, the follow, and it goes around the rim. Prosper all over it.
That might get Omex Prosper going here. He has really struggled offensively. That energy play has brought the crowd to their feet.
Tough place to play. 11 seconds on the shot clock. Here's Dixon who gets that post touch. Little bit of a scramble. To Whitmore, pump fake. Step back move.
This is the intensity that Shaka Smart wanted to see out of that timeout. And Marquette has definitely turned the heat up.
Cam Jones all the way to the rack. And we're tied at 61. There's a scramble. Villanova retains. Whitmore with 9 seconds now to shoot. Inside 5 minutes now between these two teams. Dixon with 2 on the shot clock draws a foul. Marquette bailed him out. There was about 1 second left on the shot clock. Iguodaro picks up his 4.
Boy, that was a mad scramble. And I'll tell you what, that's a high IQ play by Eric Dixon. Whether you agree if that's a foul or not is irrelevant, because look at this. Pump fake in a crucial situation. That's high basketball IQ.
Dixon, a 77% free throw shooter, misses the first. And so Iguodaro, at least for now, with 4 minutes and 49 seconds and 4 personals, will exit the game. Now both teams sitting in the bonus. Splits the pair.
Well, now this is going to be interesting to see how is Marquette going to attack Villanova. They got a smaller lineup in.
Kolek taking it inside, trying the 4th foul on Whitmore.
Well, Kolek is so crafty. Looked like he was going to bring it back up to the key. He reverse spins on Whitmore and draws the contact.
He has not been able to regain his rhythm at all. Cam Whitmore has played 12 minutes in this game. He picked up 2 early fouls, had to sit out with 14 minutes and 40 seconds in the first half, and just has never been able to find rhythm, stay in the game for an extended period of time. Marquette has the lead.
This is the player I think is going to score for Villanova.
Caleb Daniels, though, gives it up. They work it around to Armstrong. From the wing to Slater. 3-point attempts. Daniels had it ripped away by Stevie Mitchell.
See, I was going to be concerned with the smaller lineup for Marquette. Could they clean the defensive glass?
Jones with that hesitation move inside the lane. Pump fake, lays it up with the left hand. So tough. Goes glass. And it's a 3-point edge for the Golden Eagles.
Caleb Daniels going to get his number called once again here.
Lots of time ticking off. Daniels on his knees, gives it up to Dixon. Spin move, pump fake, up and over Mitchell, left it short.
Wow. Tremendous on-ball defense by Marquette.
16 points for Cam Jones, 16 points for Tyler Kolek. The leaders on the Marquette side. To Joplin. Six to shoot. Jones will fire. That long arcing shot nearly got it to drop. Dixon facing that double team.
That's a good double team right there.
He trips and falls, and a traveling violation. 18 turnovers for Nova. That ties a season high. They've done it 3 times now this year.
The Marquette needed to turn the defensive pressure up.
Both teams now in the bonus. You see 2 timeouts left for both Villanova and Marquette. What a thriller it has been.
I like this right here. Villanova going to their own pressure. 3-quarter court. Trying to get it out of the hands of Kolek.
Cam Jones, 8 points in the first half, 8 points in the second half. And defended by Mark Armstrong, gives it up to Kolek. Joplin with the back down against Daniels. Nowhere to go. Daniels trying to turn him away. A good defensive challenge there by Daniels.
Well, Shot Smart did not like that shot that Joplin took there.
Inside 2 minutes now. Armstrong doesn't hesitate.
Wow, Tyler Kolek screaming at Joplin. I think Joplin catching the ear of a few of his teammates on that last attempt.
Kolek with that hesitation. He'll take the shot, leaves it short. But he's been big in the second half. 10 of 16, 10 of his 16 have come in the second half. Back the other way. Moore misses everything.
I think Moore was expecting some contact and didn't get any. Iguodaro laid off intelligently not to pick up his 5th foul.
Villanova trying to get Eric Dixon to check back in, but time is ticking. 1:10 left to play here in the game. Joplin chases it down just before it crosses half court.
He's got to go.
Yeah, it's 5 seconds on the shot clock. Joplin! And the rebound by Iguodaro. It's a big one and a smart move to pull it back out. Kolek again will pull it back out. So they're going to force Villanova to foul them and stop the clock. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Kolek crosses over to his left hand. Gets to the left side. Clutch city for Tyler Kolek. He's got 18.
Oh, boy. Tyler Kolek. That's a heck of a move. Going to his strong left hand. The shot clock running down.
Kolek has been huge in the second half. 12 points, 12 of his 18 coming in the second half. And Villanova's running out of time, trailing by 5. Shot clock still in play. Quick trigger, Hassan short. Rebound to Stevie Mitchell. Over to Kolek. The man they want to have it in his hands, a 77% free throw shooter, the leader of this team. And that's 4 on Slater.
Marquette made a nice adjustment. They went to a 3-2 zone. I think that surprised Villanova a little bit, forced him into a quick look.
And you've said that about 3 different times here tonight. We talked to Shaka Smart about that in shoot-around.
Yeah.
When he decides to press, when he decides to show zone. Obviously, their primary defense is man-to-man, but he picks and chooses his moments to throw that little wrinkle out against their opponent.
And in conference play, you only need 1 or 2 possessions that can go your way, that can result in a win. And so, force a tough miss.
Largest lead of the game now for Marquette. Shot clock not in play. Tyler Kolek now a 20-point game. More and nowhere to go. Has to give it up to Slater. They're looking for the 3-point shot. Stevie Mitchell wraps up and takes it himself. Drops it off the post guard. Nearly got the slam dunk, but the foul committed. Oh, this crowd at Five Serve Forum is waiting to erupt on that play.
Well, the defense of Marquette has been something else. Quick hands by Omax Prosper. Stevie Mitchell with the pass. Omax allows Slater to fly by. Quick hands there as Slater going into his shot.
It's the fourth on Dixon, now in the double bonus here from Marquette. So 2 free throws as Prosper knocks down the first.
Max Prosper's had a tough night offensively, but he's coming through towards the end of the game.
Knocks down them both. Nova scoreless in the last 4 minutes and 35 seconds. Meanwhile, Marquette on a 10-0 run. Daniels in the final few seconds drops it in, and the timeout called here for Villanova. They've got 1 remaining. It's just kind of been to script, right? I mean, when we talk to Kyle Nett right now, Marquette looking to close it out, and Villanova looking for a miracle here with 10 seconds left to play, trailing 71-64. Pressure coming full court. And a foul immediately against Cam Jones. He is a 74% free throw shooter coming into tonight.
That's pretty good pressure by Villanova. That's close to a violation there. And this is one of the things that makes Marquette so unique, is that their 5-man Iguodaro is taking the ball out of bounds. So you've got 4 quicker players to be able to inbounds too. So that's a unique advantage of Marquette.
It's amazing to me how loud on defense this building can get and how quiet Cam Jones with his free throw this building can get.
Now you're seeing Marquette trying to do a little pseudo pressure to eat up some of that clock.
At speed, Armstrong can't convert on the dunk. Cam Jones wants this building to celebrate this win. And Marquette keeps pace with Xavier atop the Big East.
That was you talk about closing. Marquette closed with defensive intensity. Kind of cut the lights out. 16-3 run in the last 6 minutes and some change from Marquette.